Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celebrate Black Excellence. I'm your digital host, Carlton T. Clay. Our next guest is an actress, and she's a full-time professor at South Carolina State University, and some people are considering her the breakout star of Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. I present to you Ursula O. Robinson. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me
No
here.
problem. Thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate you. It's such a privilege to have you here on Celebrate Black Excellence.
Thank you.
So let's get started with you. How did you get started with acting?
Well, I actually started in my house.
Okay.
Right. So, families where there's a long list of kids. So the children of the oldest child end up being playmates of the youngest kids, right? So that kind of happened to us. So I had an aunt who was only maybe 10 years older than me, and she thought it would be great for us to go Christmas caroling.
Okay.
And so my grandmother thought it was a great idea too, so we all had to do it. So it was like 8 of us. And so we had to go caroling. Then my other aunt thought it would be a great idea if we added like a nativity scene to what we're doing.
Okay.
So when we gather for Christmas, we sing and then we do our scene. And then that same aunt said, well, let's add some talent to it. So we were doing a show every Christmas.
Okay.
And when my cousins and my brothers and sisters stopped, I kept doing it.
Okay.
I did the show until college.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, speaking of college, you are the drama program coordinator and full-time professor of drama at South Carolina State University.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I was actually an adjunct at North Carolina A&T in Greensboro, North Carolina. And the person who was over the drama program then graduated from South Carolina State. They were looking for someone. She submitted my name, and I put in my application with the late Frank Mundy, and now I'm here. I've been here 1999, that's 25 years? Okay, 25 years I've been teaching at South Carolina State University.
Come on, man.
Yes. Because sometimes the man don't be math.
I understood.
Right.
Understood. How does it feel when it comes to educating your students? Like, how does that feel when you're teaching them? And like, what type of fulfillment do you get from that?
Yeah, I love teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend has told me, you just teach everywhere you go. I end up teaching everywhere I go. So it's kind of in me, come from a family of teachers. So what I do know for me is allowing someone to have an aha moment that leads to another aha moment, to me is beautiful. From the littlest child to the oldest child, because I also work with adults too.
Okay.
And I educate because I want someone to have the foundation that I didn't have growing up. Because often I was not celebrated, tolerated, and I want to celebrate, but also be real. And bring my students to a place where they can live their dreams. So it's very important to me.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I'm sure they appreciate it, of
Oh,
course.
yes. On the way down here, a student who graduated several years ago called me, and we were having a little session about where he was going in his career and trying to understand some things. Yeah. And I think it's important for everyone to have a coach or a mentor.
Absolutely.
At one point in time, I was like, man, I got degrees. I don't need no coach. I got all these degrees and I need a coach. Yeah, but you do.
Yes.
Because there's gray area everywhere.
Absolutely.
And you need someone to help you navigate that gradation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. Now, you most recently portrayed the role of Linda Bertrand in Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. First of all, I just want to say, I remember before I watched the movie, my sister said, you are going to be shocked by the beginning. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I saw the beginning. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right.
So let's talk about the beginning. How was the audition process for you?
Well, I got the audition and I was like, oh man, this is cool. I love it, right? And I jumped right into it. And working with my friend, the original audition called for her to be toothless.
Okay.
So I blacked out my teeth.
Oh.
And did the audition. And oh man, I was like this. And my girlfriend was like, maybe that's too much. I said, no, baby, it's right. It's this. This is right. This is Mr. Perry. I think this is what he wants in this particular scene. And I was close to it because he chose me. So I just turned in my audition, and it was, the rest was God.
Absolutely. And like I said, we saw you do a knockout performance in
Oh,
that film.
thank you.
Now, when you first received the script, right? Because again, the role is very outlandish.
Yes.
It's a lot going on. If you have
Right.
not seen the film, then
Right.
you need to go check it out. But when you first received the script, what was your initial reaction when it came to the character and what was going on?
Right. Well, my audition was the last couple of scenes.
Okay.
So the other scene then, that was kind of new to me. The opening scene, that was new. It was a rewrite. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my. And I wasn't as bothered by the slip as taking the clothes off in church, right? So being the good servant leader that I am, I called my pastor. And I have a very realistic pastor. And I was like, well, they want me to, and she was like, well, Ursula, in terms of the slip, you show more cleavage than that in church. So I don't even know why that's a problem. And then she said, and I was like, well, maybe these taking the clothes off in the church, I don't want, and she's like, it's acting, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot because I make that speech myself. And she said to remind me. No, I had a moment of like, woo. And then I was like, yeah, great, because I believe that if God brought me to it, then it was going to be beneficial for me.
Absolutely.
In some way. So now when we went in for the fitting, I like pull the slip up here, do the straps, and do the stuff. So the costume department at Tyler Perry Studios is awesome. They're great people, and they were so wonderful in this entire process. Yeah, so and I had a shock moment, and then I just flowed in it, and taking my clothes off became really easy. That's a joke. That's
Right,
a joke.
right, yeah.
In case anybody else.
And it's so good to laugh.
Right,
and we need to.
And I told the people, I said, listen, I have a morality clause in my contract with South Carolina State. We can't have me just doing anything. Yeah. But in all actuality, it really was not a big deal because it was so important to the story. And I think if people understood, if you got past the first scene, then it was very important for this particular character to do what she did because that helped you to understand her sons. Yes. And so it was very important. Great writing. I thank Mr. Perry for seeing that in me, that I could take off my clothes in church.
Speaking of Mr. Tyler Perry, what was it like working with him?
Oh, great. He's an awesome person. He's a humanitarian. He's an artist. I love his drive. I love his vision for things. And he has surrounded himself with some great people. And I've had nothing but wonderful times and great support. In fact, they have been very supportive of my students. And we're working on some of those professionals coming to do workshops with my students.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So it's beautiful when people like you enough to want to pour into the same pot that you're pouring into.
Absolutely. Now, according to Amazon, this film drove in more signups to Prime Video in the U.S. than any other Amazon MGM Studios produced movie to date. How does that make you feel that you were a part of this movie?
It makes me feel iconical. I feel blessed and really speechless because I've been on this journey for a minute. I've been working professionally for a minute, and I decided to really concentrate on television and film. And because how can I tell my students to live your dream and I hadn't lived all of mine? I had lots of accolades and those kind of things and stuff. So this was an opportunity for me to live my dream. So you're saying not only am I living my dream, but my dream is, some people said along the level of the lines from The Color Purple, that people will forever remember this, get the boy, right? So for that to happen, along with living my dream, wouldn't that make you speechless?
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm grateful and I'm speechless. I'm just listening to what the people have to say and the celebration of what this was. Yeah, it's iconical.
Absolutely. So what are you working on next that you can discuss?
That I can't discuss?
Yes.
Coming up sometime this fall will be a television series with Tyler Perry called Beauty in Black.
Okay.
And I'll be playing a character on there.
Okay.
And that should be coming sometime this fall on Netflix.
Okay. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So y'all go ahead and drive up the membership drive. Everywhere I go, just drive up the membership. And then people will attribute it to me as opposed to Mr. Perry's great work.
Just keep the train going.
Keep the train going.
Keep
The train going. Yes.
What words of advice can you give someone that wants to get into acting professionally?
Don't let stoppages stop you. They're going to be obstacles. They're going to be things that stand in your way. But if it's your dream, who else is going to do it besides you? So don't let obstacles and things stand in your way. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep dreaming. If you give up, you'll never know. And do you want to be a grandfather or grandmother on your porch rocking and telling the grandchildren, I could have been something great. I could have been a millionaire. I could have been all these things. But you were not, because you did not dare to live your dream. You can dream it, but can you live it?
Some good words.
Yes.
Some good words. Definitely make sure we need to take that in for sure. Now, if people want to know more about you, they want to follow you with everything you got going on, how can they do that?
Well, on Facebook, I'm at Ursula O. Robinson. I'm at Ursula O. Robinson also on Instagram. On TikTok, I am at Lady U Drama. On Snapchat, at Lady U Drama. On Twitter, I'm Ursula O. Robinson.
Awesome.
Oh, excuse me, X.
We still calling it Twitter.
Oh, you do?
We
Okay,
still calling it Twitter.
Okay, right. On the Twitterizations.
on the Twitter.
Yeah, on the Twitterizations, of course. Right. Yes, that's what it is. So
yes.
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. And I want to thank everyone. This movie came out July the 11th and still buzzing. It is still doing things. People are still reaching out to me. People, it was so overwhelming, the love that I have received. And I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you, Ms. Robinson, for being here. Yes. Thank you for sharing your words of wisdom and making us laugh.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. But no, seriously, thank you again for being Black Excellence.
Oh, Black Excellence! Woo!
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And we definitely appreciate you again. And thank you all for watching. I'm Carlton T. Clay. This is Celebrate Black Excellence. We celebrate Black Excellence every day. Have a good one.